coming up right after our show at 7 o'clock.
Yeah, it's going to be very exciting. Good evening, everybody. I'm Casey Cloud.
I'm student meteorologist Matt Reagan. Homecoming is in full swing here, especially getting into tomorrow, and the weather's going to be changing dramatically.
Yeah, it's going to start cooling down across the area, expecting much cooler conditions behind the cool front. It's going to bring in nicer conditions, some of the coolest weather we've seen all season, in fact.
Yeah, I'm really excited for the cool weather. We're sitting in the 80s right now, according to our weather stem data coming in from Doak Campbell Stadium, but that is going to be changing dramatically. That's going to be the theme throughout the entire show.
Yeah, exactly. Those conditions will be starting to fall, those temperatures, that is, and it should make things very nice across the area for all these homecoming festivities that will be around. We have, of course, tomorrow night powwow at the Donald L. Tucker Center, so that is always great to have on hand. Go to that, an annual tradition here at FSU.
Yeah, we've got powwow tomorrow, we've got the parade, we've got war chant coming right up after FSU Weather, not on the television side, but if you head on out to the Civic Center, you can catch the Zach Brown Band performing live.
Yeah, exactly. That should be very exciting for those of you that do have tickets to that. Nice conditions this evening. It won't be too cool if you're walking to that. But right now, Jake is going to have an overview of the show.
Make sure it's on.
All right, thank you, Jake. We got a couple technical difficulties there, but we're going to be bringing back out to you in just a minute. We were talking about War Chant coming up here at 7 o'clock. That's going to be a great show, and I think people are really lining up to see that.
Yeah, they are. It should be very exciting going to War Chant. There's so many people waiting in line to make that a very interesting activity. But right now, Jake, we're going to go and take it back out to him.
All right, thanks a lot, guys. I'm sorry about that, but as I was saying, one more kiss of summer before the homecoming festivities really kick in. Currently in Tallahassee, 78 degrees under partly cloudy skies, humidity at 58%, with a light breeze coming out of the west-southwest, 6 miles per hour. A front is approaching, but other than that, radar is very clean. It's going to make for a beautiful night tonight. 54 degrees under partly cloudy skies, staying pretty mild with a nice light breeze, and the cool down is really going to be heading in come Saturday, with a small rain chance coming in on Monday, but nothing too bad. So let's take it back to the desk real quick with Casey and Matt.
Thanks, Jake. Now let's go ahead and talk about a lack of named tropical cyclones in any basin in the world.
Yeah, this is a big story because we've had a very busy worldwide tropical and cyclone season, not so much here in the Atlantic, but this is the first time since early October that we've seen no tropical activity in the entire world.
Yeah, that is very interesting and great news. Really nothing out there to talk about. Kate has now become extra tropical. Could have some potential, of course, as it moves toward the north and east in terms of some damage, at least in the Atlantic Ocean, but it shouldn't be anything too significant.
Yeah, I'll have a lot more on post-tropical storm Kate, mainly becoming a fish storm at this point, later on in the quick little look at the tropics, but definitely a big event that we are not seeing any tropical activity right now. But we would like to send this one out to our guest meteorologist, Jonathan Bellis.
Thank you. And November here in Tallahassee and across much of Florida today has been one of those for the record books here. Record today was 85. We reached 86. We've been up near 90 a lot the first half of November. That is about to end, folks. We're going to be dropping into the 70s. We're going to be there for the next 7 days, or at the maximum there for the next 7 days. We're going to be a lot cooler over the next day or two because of this line here. You can barely see it here on the satellite, and it's even gone on the radar here. This is our next cool front. This is actually packing a lot more of a punch than it looks like here. The humidity is falling back towards Tupelo and Shreveport, and the temperatures will be falling as we head into this homecoming weekend here in Tallahassee. 78 degrees is where we're at downtown, 82 in Carabel, 75 in Apalachicola. If you're heading down towards the coast, it's going to be a fantastic day, but watch out on the water. We'll get to that forecast in just a second. But we're going to be doing a lot of these jumps here in the temperature department this weekend. We're going to start off warm through this evening. We're going to drop through the 70s this evening. As you head out to the fair tonight, it's going to be on the cooler side, but that cooler side is really going to kick in during the day on Saturday and especially on Sunday, where temperatures are only going to be in the 60s during the evening hours and into the overnight hours. We're going to be talking about 50s and 40s this weekend. This is really the first punch of Jack Frost coming in from the north. As we look into Saturday night, into Sunday morning, we're going to be in the 40s. So we're going to be about 40 degrees away from those record highs during the morning hours. If you're heading out towards the sand, we're looking a little bit on the gusty side, so you may not want to bring out that umbrella, but you will want to bring out maybe the kite to take out onto maybe Langford Green if you can't get down to the sand on St. George Island. The water temperature is still on the cool side, although we will be cooling off a lot more. This water temperature is probably going to drop a couple of degrees as this cool front comes on through and really whips up the water. Choppy on the water this weekend. 54 degrees is where we're heading tonight. North-northwest winds at 5 to 10 miles an hour. This is the last real mild evening for the next couple of days. Patchy fog again, although those clouds will be out there this evening. It's a little bit harder if there's clouds already up there for that fog to form. Sun comes out by noon tomorrow, and then we're talking about 72 degrees during the afternoon. The next couple of days, again, the cool weather is going to be that story as we head into the weekend. You're going to want that jacket if you're heading to the North Florida Fair, opening tonight at 5 o'clock and to be open at noon each day. It's going to be quite a big temperature swing during the day, and then hopping back up into the 60s during the afternoon this weekend. Rain comes back into the forecast on Tuesday and Wednesday, although that chance really isn't that high. We won't even see 80 this week. Look at that. I hope you like this autumn weather. For more of that, looking around the southeast, we're going to be a little bit cooler up towards the north. 30s maybe?
Yeah, we'll see about that when we get into our forecast for tonight. But across the southeast, a lot of variation. Florida staying very, very hot. Key West down at 81 degrees. But as we go towards our north and west, where the front is passed, much cooler. 61 degrees up in Tupelo, Mississippi. 64, a little bit closer to home in Montgomery. Relative humidity is helping us kind of detect where this front is. These green areas where humidity is a little bit higher indicates a little bit more moisture up in the atmosphere. 71% in Savannah, but up towards our north and west where the front is really passed through, 35% up in Little Rock. Very dry, and that's going to be heading towards here as we go later on into the night and into the weekend. Heat indices are negligible throughout much of the southeast, but again, where the front has not passed in regions of Florida, that's where things are really staying hot. It feels like 88 degrees right now down in Key West, so still feeling very summer-like down there. Not much to speak of when it comes to the winds. Pretty light and variable across much of the region. 13 miles an hour in Miami is our high spot. No wind to speak of at all in New Orleans. Now, southeast radar is helping us to detect also where this front is. We see this little cloud deck moving across the southeast through Atlanta, and that's on its way into the panhandle of Florida right now. No rain associated with that, but some cloud cover to denote nonetheless. That will be passing through here tonight and making things quite cool heading into Friday and into the weekend just in time for all those homecoming festivities. Futurecast radar is showing as the front moves through our area, we see nothing really blowing up over us necessarily. Things are going to be staying very quiet across the entire southeast, where some storms are going to try to fire up into South Florida through the day on Friday. Nothing too bad, though. Nothing they obviously can't handle. Through the day on Saturday, this is going to continue. We're going to see some storms try to fire up in Texas, and they might gradually push their way over towards here through the day on Saturday and into Sunday, which could make for some rain chances around here on Monday. But again, that is going to be looking okay for the most part. Tonight's forecast, 77 degrees down in Key West, 50 in Tallahassee, and like Jonathan said, those 30s are there. 38 degrees up in Tupelo and 39 in Little Rock. Tomorrow, that cold air is going to be moving its way further down south, 71 degrees here in Tallahassee, and it's going to be staying in the 60s throughout much of the rest of the southeast, except for South Florida, of course, staying in those mid-80s just like always. That's all I have for southeast. Let's take it back to the desk with John.
Thank you. We were talking about that cool front coming in this weekend, and that's really the first big winter punch that's going to come in through the southeast. And it's also a sign of changes in the atmosphere as well across the country. This time of year, we start seeing those temperature gymnastics across the country when that warm air from the south and the cool air from up north really starts fighting it out across the midsection. Kind of what happens in April and May as well. And that causes a secondary tornado season. We saw a little bit of that yesterday up in Iowa and across the Midwest, where 5 states had severe weather reports coming out from a low pressure center that is also affiliated with the same cold front that's going to come through here in the next hour or so. They had 135 wind reports up in 5 states. There were 12 tornado reports as well, including at the Des Moines International Airport there. There was a funnel cloud that came in, touched down, and took out some trailers very close to the airport there, and they had also 75 miles an hour that toppled over some of those trailers as well. They also had a lot of tree damage across Illinois and up towards even Chicagoland yesterday. Now, this year is going to be a little bit different. Normally, we would continue to talk about those Central Plains tornadoes and the wind threat as well. But this year, those storm systems are going to be a little bit more of a low dragger, maybe call it an I-10 dragger, because of the El Nino phenomena that we've all been talking about. That's generally going to create a lot more cooler weather and also some severe weather here in Florida. Florida is very well known for some stronger tornadoes during El Nino years. We'll be talking about that over the next couple of months as well. But temperatures are going to be on the way down for this weekend. We're going to be talking about a lot of that cooler weather. Normally during the month of November, we see about 57 tornadoes countrywide during El Nino, so have to look forward to that over the next couple of months. But now we're going to take it out to Mr. Cloud. But Mr. Cloud, where are those clouds and when are they going to arrive here?
Those clouds, well, they're going to start clearing out of our area for the most part because of that cool front making its way through our area, but relatively nice conditions will be behind that front as we get in toward your Friday today. That was very warm. 86 in Tallahassee, 84 in Quincy. You see mid-80s around, little cooler, Thomasville 82, but relatively nice across the viewing circle. And currently we're seeing 78 in Tallahassee, 81 in St. Mark's, upper 70s, lower 80s across our Florida counties. Now in Georgia, we're sitting a little cooler. Bainbridge 73. We have Thomasville 73. Even eastern areas like Taylor County here in northern Florida 74. Perry, of course. Now Panhandle radar look-wise, we see that there are a few high clouds coming in, but there shouldn't be too big of a factor in some of our western counties around Liberty, also in Gadsden. Again, not too big of a concern with those. Really not expecting any moisture with that. Can't run a stray sprinkle or two, but really not too concerned. Now, water vapor imagery, we do see there's a little bit of in-between type colors. You're not really seeing too much of definite orange or definite green, so that's some good news. Relatively nice conditions around our viewing circle here on this Thursday evening. Now, broadening the view and seeing what we're going to expect, but we do have that cool front that's going to come in here over our area over the next several hours. As we put this into motion, you'll see it advancing from areas around Mobile and toward our area by late tomorrow morning into the early afternoon, just about the time of the homecoming parade here for the university here on campus. Now, you do see high pressure. It'll start to take hold as we go in toward later on Friday. Those conditions will be relatively nice across our area. Now, we go ahead and broaden this out in toward later on Friday into early Saturday. High pressure again in control, cooler air coming in. Again, that will be behind us from making for nicer conditions here across our area. It'll be more seasonable, really, for the first time we've had all fall long, making for a great weekend. Maybe a little cool when you get up in the mornings, but relatively nice overall. Now, we'll go ahead and broaden the view out now to what we're expecting for you tonight. We're seeing 54 in Tallahassee, 57 in St. Mark's, mid-50s here in Florida counties, a little cooler up towards some of our Georgia areas. Bainbridge, we're talking about Decatur County, sitting at 51 degrees there in southwest Georgia. And for your Friday, sunny skies again. After that front comes through, it will make things nice and seasonable. 72 in Tallahassee, 73 St. Mark's. Those are the story, mid-70s, lower 70s even. And as we plan your day, we do see temperatures will be cool in the morning, 55, but it'll start warming up to making a nice day. Upper 60s, maybe even some lower 70s in isolated areas. And as we plan those next 5 days, we do see 71 tomorrow, cooling trend behind that front, and then warming conditions again by early next week with maybe a chance for some rain. But right now, Matt is standing by with a look of the national weather scene.
All right, thank you, Casey. That is a gorgeous 5-day forecast. I'm really excited for this weekend. It's going to be a beautiful homecoming weekend, but we are still in we're still in hurricane season here for a few more days. And we did have a storm over the last few days. Kate, by the name it was, did make it to hurricane status that moved through the Atlantic Basin. Really a fish storm, not causing any damage here. But if storms were to develop, like Kate did, they usually follow this path right up the eastern seaboard and back on out to sea. Typically, we don't see too many November hurricanes, but in this case, Kate, we did see, and that is spinning away out in the Atlantic. Now, here she is, the remnants of Kate. Let's look at this on water vapor imagery. This is now post-tropical, so not exactly tropical characteristics like we normally see in a hurricane. We do have this storm associated with dry air. This is moving out, so really no threat to mainland, but shipping lanes could be affected by this one. Now, taking this one back home here across the United States, we've got a lot of factors, a lot of players here in the country moving through and creating the finally the winter vibe that we've been wanting this entire season. Now here's where we're at right now, 78 in Tally, 59 in Memphis. Behind the cold front, it gets progressively cooler, 30s in Minneapolis. But as we move to the satellite and radar, we can see where that low pressure system is, dragging with it a cold front. Kind of up near the Great Lakes area, spinning around, causing some snow up in parts of Minnesota. This front is starting to lose its punch, though, in terms of rain, moving through the southeast, but still bringing the cool weather that we've been expecting over the last few days. Now, here's where we do have the storm zooming in just a little bit. Here's the low, spinning around here, just passing through the Great Lakes region, bringing a bit of rain, and we did see a lot of storm reports, as John mentioned earlier, associated with this system. Now, moving down further down the country, we see the clouds just barely popping up here on satellite and radar. This is the cold front starting to move into our area. That'll move in overnight tonight and start to cool things down quite a bit. Now, Oklahoma, you're looking at some frost or some freeze advisories and even some red flag warnings near the Nebraska and Kansas area and into Missouri as well. Cold conditions behind this storm. This just means that we're seeing a lot of that cool weather pour in, even dare I say Arctic air pour in as well. Now we got some lake advisories here for the Great Lakes region. Now really, what does that mean for us? As we've been mentioning all show long, we've got a cold front moving in, and these dew points are an indication of how cool and dry it will be. We can play Find the Front. Here it is right here, moving through as this gradient of dew point temperatures starts to decrease quite a bit. 54 in New Orleans, that's going to reach our area very soon. Let's look at this cooling trend that we are seeing. The cool air dips in to our area, creating a nice and cool conditions over the next 48 hours. Going to be a beautiful one. Here's what we're looking at tomorrow for our area. A couple of airport delays associated with that tonight. Looking cool as well. Wow, look at 23 in Denver, feeling like winter. Tomorrow, much the same, going to be a gorgeous day. But now, we're going to send it back over to Casey at the desk.
Thanks, Matt. Those cooler temperatures are really coming in from the northwest now, seeing those 20s even in the morning hours. You can tell we're starting to get even closer toward winter time. But now in terms of local weather history on this date, well, we don't actually have any for today through your Saturday. However, on November 15th, it was a pretty significant weather day across the area in history. We're talking about some damaging straight line winds that did make it through and did make their way through much of our area in 1989 on November 15th. Significant damage was associated with this as a wind ahead of a cool front did move through. Dothan, Alabama even received a 71-mile-an-hour wind gust. So a very serious situation there in southeast Alabama, and this even translated into toward Florida and toward some of the Florida and Georgia counties as well. Now, riding in the view out to 2006, we do see that there was a situation then where we did have a squall line associated with another cool front on that day that did sweep through, producing some storms around the area then as well. And these were even more potent as there was several $1,000s worth of damage and property across the viewing circle, across the National Weather Service's Tallahassee's jurisdiction. That includes southeast Alabama, southwest Georgia, and of course the Big Bend of Florida and the Florida Panhandle. And in Taylor County, even near Adams Beach, there's a report of baseball-sized hail. That is very significant. 3 inches in diameter, folks. That's really a serious situation when that does occur. Very rare. You only normally see that in the Midwest. So to see the right characteristics and energy associated with that around here, that's very unusual to see across northern Florida, southern Georgia, especially this time of year, much less any time of the year. But right now, Jonathan Bellis is standing by to take us around the state of Florida.
And look at this, I found your clouds right here in Pensacola this afternoon and much of the day this evening. Those are now pushing through the Florida Panhandle. Those will be here this evening and throughout much of the overnight hours at times. Most of the peninsula, though, is clear. If you're heading down the I-95 corridor, you're going to be fine this evening. Just a few clouds tomorrow as this pushes down towards I-4. But the rain has just about completely fallen apart, maybe a sprinkler or two towards Defuniak Springs during the next couple of hours. Off towards New Orleans and down towards Plaquemines Parish in southeastern Louisiana, we're talking about cloudy skies, but really no impact here other than maybe some early morning fog tomorrow morning. Pensacola looking like this. Actually, this is here in Tallahassee. This is actually at the res here. A couple of planes flying across the lake here. Plenty of sunny skies this afternoon And that's going to be the case tomorrow, and those winds have been out of the south, creating a little bit of choppy conditions across Appalachia Bay, but also creating those record temperatures here in Tallahassee. We're about 9 degrees above where we were yesterday at this time, but if you look off towards the west, those blue colors indicate that those temperatures are already starting to cool off towards the west. There is a slight humidity drop as well. If you look off towards the west in Pensacola, we're talking about 10 degrees cooler from Pensacola to Tallahassee, and there's a little bit of cloud cover in Jacksonville as well as a little bit of a breeze off of the chilly Atlantic right now. But down towards the south, look at that 80s tonight, still in Key West, Miami, and in Fort Myers at 82 degrees, Tampa at 80 degrees tonight. Here's a look at this humidity. Although we had some slightly drier air today, kept those clouds down. The cold front does have some humidity with it, a little bit higher over the overnight hours, so we could have a little bit of patchy fog, although we won't have the dense fog that we had this morning. We could have some of those delays on the road tomorrow morning as you head in with those low beams tomorrow morning. Look at these temperatures tonight at 50 degrees in Tallahassee and Pensacola, down towards the south at 77 degrees. 76 in Miami, 74 down near Lake Okeechobee in West Palm Beach. This is going to be the last warm night for the northern half of the state, say north of I-4. Tomorrow we're looking like this at 85 degrees in Tampa, but look at the cooler air along I-10, 69 degrees in Pensacola, 71 in Tallahassee. If you're going to head out to the fair, tomorrow's going to be the warmest day of the next 3 days to do so here. And I-10 going east, Jacksonville at 74. Look at that warm air still being trapped down there. Some record highs probably going to be threatened down towards the Alligator Alley as well as up towards Fort Myers and possibly in Tampa once again. Though even those record highs are going to be very close to the middle 80s this time of year. Cooler air really kicking in Saturday and Sunday, 66 degrees in Pensacola and in Tallahassee. And we're going to go ahead and take it over to Jake now with a special look.
All right, thank you very much, Jonathan. Awesome work as always. Let's keep the good times rolling here. We got lots of stuff to talk about involving our homecoming festivities as well as some football. Let's start with that. Tonight in football, we have the Bills taking on the Jets at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Game's gonna be kicking off about 8:30. We got a 5-3 Jets team that's been a pretty pleasant surprise this season, taking on a 4-4 Bills team, struggling so far this season, but trying to make their playoff push. This game's going to be notable for a little storyline between Geno Smith and IK Anakpali, who broke Geno Smith's jaw during training camp. It was recently named team captain by Coach Rex Ryan heading into the game. Definitely interesting there, even though Geno will not be playing tonight. Weather's going to be looking beautiful there. Temperature about 57 degrees at kickoff. Going to be cooling down gradually, staying clear, staying a little breezy though. Now also in ACC action, we got Virginia Tech taking on Georgia Tech in Atlanta. It's going to be staying beautiful there as well. We got a temperature of 60 degrees at kickoff. The front's going to be rolling through, dropping temperatures to about 50. It's going to be an awesome night for a game there, what can really decide some bowl eligibility. Now, around here, I have some fun facts for you guys regarding our homecoming festivities. Saturday's game against North Carolina State, we're expecting a high in the mid-60s. Now, if the temperature fails to reach 65 degrees, as could be the case here, it'd be the first time that that Tallahassee has failed to reach 65 for a home game since 2010 when we took on North Carolina. That was also a homecoming game. Unfortunately, we lost that one, so we'll see if the tables are turned this time around. Now, also, that night we could be looking at a temperature as low as 45, and the last time we had a temperature that low was March 30th. So this really is a sign that times are changing. I'm looking forward to it. I hope you guys are too. That's all I have for you guys right now. Let's send it over to Matt with one more look at our local weather.
Thank you so much for that sports wrap, Jake. I'm looking forward to those temperatures as well. I hope they cool us down quite a bit and get us into this holiday spirit that everybody's been wanting. I know all of these restaurants have been putting us in the holiday spirit with their Christmas music, so now let's get the temperatures down there as well. Right now, is it looking like that? Not so much here in Tallahassee, but help is on the way. We've got a cold front moving through our area right as we speak. That's going to be pushing through, creating those cooler temperatures. We've been talking about it all show long. It's going to be gorgeous. Now let's play a game of Find the Front. I love this game. It's one of my favorites. It's kind of hard to do right here, but you just see the cloud cover had associated with some rain earlier on, but now it's starting to move on into our area. Clouds are going to be on the increase, but they're not going to last long. It's going to be a gorgeous day tomorrow for all the homecoming festivities. Now, let's take a look at what's going to be happening. We've got high pressure building in behind this front as we put this into motion through Friday. We see the front start to move into our area. A couple of passing clouds. We're not calling for any rain with this. This is going to be a dry front. But once that passes through, gorgeous conditions. Friday morning, that's our transition period, and into the Friday afternoon. The words say it all right here. Cold blast and Arctic blast is on the way. The coolest temperatures of the season. It's going to be a gorgeous one. Now, let's look at putting this into motion one more time. That's Saturday evening. If you are heading out to the beach, we do implore you that the water might start getting a little bit cool. So if you're heading out there to maybe work on the tan, also might be cool as well. But if you are, watch out, put on the sunscreen. Winds are going to be quite heavy as well. The chop is going to be increasing, and also watch out for the threat of rip currents. So if you are heading out to the beach this weekend, it's going to be a gorgeous one, but a couple threats as well. Tonight, if you're heading on outside, gorgeous evening, 54 degrees. A little bit mild as that front starts to push through with the cloud cover associated with it, but the winds are going to quickly switch around from the north. Now Friday, what's it looking like? A little bit of patchy fog in the morning. We're not calling for a dense fog as we saw this morning. Should burn off by the late morning hours. 72 degrees, and it's going to be gorgeous with the winds shifting between 10 and 15 miles per hour. Now what are you going to pull out of your closet? Well, I've got you right here. Here's what you're going to do. Friday, t-shirt and jeans. It's going to be a cool day, a comfortable day. The jeans are going to make it quite nice. And then on Saturday, of course you've got to have that garnet and gold. It's going to be a great day to support the Noles this weekend for the homecoming football game. Maybe a light jacket as well. It may not get out of the 60s, so a cool one nonetheless. Sunday, oh, I'm wearing the shades because it's going to be sunny all weekend long. The jacket as well. Gorgeous weekend for some football and some homecoming festivities. Let's look at that extended forecast because it's a gorgeous one. Rain chances increasing early next week, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You see the temperatures take a dive as the front passes through. Monday and Tuesday, we increase the rain chances just a little bit, but one thing that was pointed out earlier is look at that. No 80s on the entire board. It's going to be a gorgeous week, finally feeling like a little bit more like fall. Homecoming is here. We are excited about that. John, Jake, take us home.
Thank you very much, Matt. And I gotta say, I am looking forward to this just in time for War Chant tonight with Zach Brown Band. It's gonna be an awesome night.
Yeah, unfortunately it's not outside.
Yeah.
That's the only problem.
Yeah, that will be at the Donald Tucker Civic Center if you're trying to go last minute. I'm not sure if it's sold out actually, but tomorrow, though, we're going to have the powwow event with Amy Schumer. We're going to be crowning our homecoming chief and princess, and it's going to be looking like another great day. High about 71 degrees.
We got the parade outside tomorrow. Fantastic weather out there on College Ave. It's going to be fantastic with that high of 71 degrees. Tomorrow we're going to be dripping down towards the 60s on Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, just in time for game day, like I said. It's the first time in a while we've had it that chilly.
It's an amazing stat there, but you know, November's so fickle.
Yeah, you get a little bit of everything. We had that 89-degree day last week, four or five records broken in the last 2 weeks, and then we have this, and I'm excited.
Yeah, and we had that 7 inches of rain last week down in Apalachicola. Won't get anywhere close to that this weekend, but
let's hope not. If you like our show, you can like us here on Facebook.com/FSU Weather. We're also on Twitter. We're also on Instagram, and we're also on Livestream.com/FSU Weather if you want to watch some of our recorded broadcasts.
We will not be on the air tomorrow afternoon for homecoming, but we will be back on Monday.
So for all of us here at FSU Weather, I'm student meteorologist Jake Karstens.
I'm meteorologist Jonathan Bellis. Have a good night.